Hello, I'm Gary Lyon, and this is the 2015 wash-up for the Demons. Now, there are certainly examples of Melbourne being more competitive than seasons past, but an air of mediocrity still exists at the club, unfortunately, Damo.
It does, and I want you to hold it together somehow for the next few moments as we talk about what was a disastrous season again for your club, the Melbourne Footy Club. You used the word...
Not disastrous.
It was mediocrity there. It's also negativity, guys, and that was a word the club itself put out there late in the season, and they just need to, before they do anything else, move on from the ugly past.
Well, there were some great moments, Damien, and the season highlight for me was in round 12. It was down at Simmons Stadium, and I was at home crying like a baby. I'm not an emotional man, Damien, but this was unbelievable. Unbelievable. I can't even talk. That's how excited I was. This is against a side that beat them by 186 points down there, don't forget, and they haven't won since Stewie Spencer was playing on the wing. These scenes were, at this stage of the season, it was a very, very big tick. There was positive signs everywhere. I think it was their 5th win for the year. They probably should have had another 2. You don't underestimate how important that win was. I'm pumping the positive up.
Well, stay up for a bit moment, a few moments longer too, because my highlights, Gaz, were the debutants. So Jesse Hogan initially, and just an extraordinary season for a man who played full forward in a bad team, and just some of these marks against some of the Premier opponents. And he did a number on Rance on this particular occasion, Gaz.
That was a big night, wasn't it?
Really stood up, announced himself to the footy world on that particular occasion. And the other guy I want to highlight, Gaz, and you've spoken about him regularly throughout the year, is Angus Brayshaw. Tough, again, from basically match number 1 that he played, did things like this that helped set him apart. Now, he drifted off, as a lot of first-year players do, and ended up, drifting right off out of form. But really good start to his career. You're up. Now, low-light time, though. And you've prepared a graphic on this.
Well, I have. When your own side, Damo, it hurts you. This is what needs to be worked out, is this roller coaster. Beat the Tigers in round 4, lose to... Beat the Bulldogs in round 8, lose to St Kilda. Beat the Cats in round 12, lose to the Bombers. Went red-hot favours against the Bombers. And then beat the Magpies. At stage, they could have had a 7 or 8 win season. And that was probably my greatest low light. The round 21 loss to Carlton, who were on the bottom of the ladder, was absolutely appalling. So that's been a theme of Melbourne's for a long time, the up and down. The up is great. At least we're getting the up from a Melbourne point of view, but the downs are still pretty low.
We'll stay for a little bit, OK? Because my low light is also a highlight as well, because Petrarca's pre-season knee injury, which put him out for the year, was, again, another bad moment for that footy club. But what they're saying, Gaz, is that once he gets this knee right, and he's making good progress, they say, he's going to have, potentially, as good an impact as those two men I just mentioned in Brayshaw and Hogan when he finally gets to play an AFL game.
I'm hearing that as well, Damo, and that is something to be excited about. Hogan, Brayshaw, Petrarca. I feel a lot better so far.
Now, before we delve deeper and you just hold it together, there's a quirky low light too, Gaz.
This man celebrated the Richmond win in round 4. A lot of Melbourne supporters wanted to get nude, Damo. That's how excited they were about the round 4 win over the Tigers. Probably went a bit far. I think the MCC members might have said to him, put your shirt back on, champ.
Right. Stay up for a little bit longer. Christmas bonus time.
Maxi Gawn gets mine. They didn't know who their first ruck was going to be, whether it was Jamar or Spencer. They went with Maxi Gawn in about round 6 or 7, and then he just justified the faith. And this was his coming out. This was his big moment against Geelong down at Simmons Stadium. He took them 6 or 7 big, massive contested marks. He was laying tackles. He was kicking goals. He was doing it all. He set this win up against the Magpies as well with some... He's a real talent, Dave.
What are you giving him?
What am I giving him? He likes a beer, Maxi, so I don't know, give him a carton. He signed a new 3-year contract, so he's got enough.
All right, I'll give something similar too, some drink cards to Bernie Vince. So he's got the town wide anyway on that front, I think. This game, Gaz, back in round 3 against Adelaide, we hadn't seen Bernie do this type of stuff on the footy field before. I suppose, announce him as a footballer in terms of can do the negative stuff, the shutdown stuff, and yet he can still kick match-winning goals as he did there in that game you've already highlighted. I thought his season, Gaz, was as good a season he's put together, and he has been an All-Australian contender in the past.
Well, the best Ferris winner at Adelaide and would be an All-Australian contender again, I reckon. Probably won't get there.
He probably won't get there.
Drop off in the past 6 weeks.
Who's on the chopping block?
Oh, there's a few. There's a few. Jack Fitzpatrick, been around for a long time. He's probably going to struggle to hold his spot. Maybe Geordie McKenzie, who's more your run-with style. Rowan Bales had plenty of chances. Maybe the Toomp, not as a chopping block, and trade stuff if
Yep.
you can get a nibble and something legitimate. Otherwise, back him in and see if you can get some get senior footy.
Okay, I'm going to go Jack Grimes, guys. I know you think, or once did think, as highly of this young man as anyone going around.
Not anyone, but
well, very few. He's in the elite in terms of what you thought. I just think, as you know, I think there sometimes comes a time when a player needs to get out of the club. And I reckon with Paul Roos still coach of Melbourne, I reckon that time is right now for Jack Grimes. Whether Goodwin's got other views on him, but again, he can't afford to waste another season of footy, as he's done now for some time. He's had injuries, as we know, but 2015 was a waste.
Got some great quality still, so I'm backing him in. What does the team need to improve? I'm big on this. They need leg speed and better kicks.
Yeah.
Now, that's very specific. I know you can be broad, but when you've got midfields of Jones and Vince and Viney and even Angus, who is probably quicker than he looks, I think they need some breakneck speed if they can absolutely get it. And then the kicking skills. I mean, the way the game's played in the modern era, there's too many, particularly in the back half of the ground for Melbourne, who don't hit targets or aren't creative enough. So they need that quickly. So get onto it, Todd Viney.
All right, I'm going to say something that may sound simple, but I want you to read it deeper into it. They just need more wins, guys. And I say that because for 9 years in a row now, they've been bottom 6 on the ladder. That's why it's negativity is filtering down that footy. And when I say more wins, just play in a style of game that allows them to actually win a game and not just continually play this negative football.
All right, up, down or stagnate, Damo, given that you've been pretty harsh on Melbourne.
I have, but I only see one way, and that's up.
Up?
And it's not a big up, but it's up. It's up. And by the time Paul Roos, this time next year we do this wash-up, handing over to Simon Goodwin, I think we'll be talking about this club differently.
Petrarca back, Hogan on fire, Brayshaw fire and Viney there. Vince is up, Jones is a star.
You're up.
They're going up, Damo. They're going up, up, up. I'm not sure how up, but hopefully up. Hey, that's the wash-up. Damien's got the same shirt on as he's had for the last 3 weeks.
And well done on getting through that Melbourne wash-up.
Yeah, I know. I'll shout you a new shirt next
week. It's not the same shirt.
Yes, it is. That's the wash-up for the Demons in 2015.
New Gurney Power Grip. Available at Bunnings Warehouse.